Friends, brothers, and sisters. So nice to see you this evening. Last night, I had the opportunity to watch a movie called Awakening, Reality We Were Never Meant to See. And I thought it was an absolutely startling and revelatory, a way of looking at things. It presented a way of looking at things that goes beyond. Let me just see Ascension Sunday. Okay, I was still called Ascension Sunday, but if I could call this, if I could go back in time to 2 minutes ago and put a proper title on this, I would say learning to live, learning to think outside the box. This is like beyond what we think of. When we think of, okay, I'll think outside the box, it's not really about Democrats and Republicans. It's not really about rhinos. It's not really about religion. It's not this, it's not that. Hey, Sandra. But it seems to me, after watching this brilliant movie, absolutely brilliant. James recommended it. It was James's night to pick a movie, and he picked this movie. It's called Awakening, not with an S. Awakening, the reality we were never meant to see. Actually, it's reality we were never meant to see. An absolutely brilliant documentary. It's narrated by several people that were stunning in their clarity, in their excitement, in their understanding, and in their explanations about something that is not explainable. And this is the key, in my opinion, to thinking outside the box. These guys are absolutely brilliant. I'm going to show you clips from this movie. Brian Best Spiritual Bean Coffee out of Prescott, spiritualbeancoffee.com. You can order yourself small batch organic coffee. It's great. So this movie had several narrators that were, each one was more brilliant than the next. They were stunning. It was so captivating. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? What they were trying to define, the non-definable, the aspect of reality that is impossible for us to understand. What do I mean? What am I trying to get to here? And bear with me. I think I will be able to explain some aspect of these brilliant men bringing forth. What they were discussing was, in my mind, and this is open to interpretation, this is just the way I understood it. This will probably be one of my videos. It gets very few views because it deals with intricacies of thought that most people don't even want. They don't want to work that hard. They're they got a football game or something. I don't know. It just, they want to watch Joe Rogan explain what's really going on. What this movie tackles, what the question is, and again, we're dealing with brilliant minds, and everything is filtered through my mind, and I may be getting it wrong. But what it seemed to me was awakening, reality we were never meant to see. What they were saying, in my mind, is that there is a hidden force, and we all know that. I mean, that's not a question. We all know about the Satanists. We know about the 13 bloodline families. We know about the Rockefellers. We know about the Orsinis. We know about Cain and Abel, and we understand all these boxes of reality. We want to name the enemy. We want to say it's the reptilians, it's the grays, it's AI. We want to have a box because it makes us comfortable. We want to have a box of this is what the bad guy is. This is his name. It's called the Satan. It's the Statue of Liberty. It's Lucifer himself. That the very idea that we are going to be able to name the enemy makes it impossible to name the enemy. Okay, bear with me here. The enemy. Okay, now I'm going to name the enemy. Here I just said don't name the enemy. I'm going to name what the enemy looks like. The enemy is a disembodied piece of consciousness, meaning it doesn't have a physical form. It is like an archon or a demon without a physical body, or a body that, I'm not going to define like what, because they say angels have physicality. They have actual bodies. So maybe it's not so at the heart of this, from what I understood of this documentary, at the heart of it is a disembodied force like AI. When you think of AI, you never think to yourself, well, AI is a form of consciousness, but it doesn't have a body. And that at the end of the day, what we're looking for, what we want desperately, is an enemy that has form, that we can name, that we can put in a box and say, this is it. This is the bad guy. But the truth is, according to this incredible documentary, is that the bad guy does not have a physical form. And what the evil force, or the satanic force, wants to do is to have a body. How can something without form have a body? Well, it can take a body that's already existing, or it can give birth to a body, or it can clone a body and instill into this body its consciousness, its DNA, its genetic footprint. So a lot of these satanic, the whole point of satanic rituals, from what I understand, and I'm not an expert, is that these rituals are giving birth to certain power forms, that they are giving permission for these power forms to enter into a kind of a union with these people who practice this black magic, and so that the consciousness takes over, is born in a body, and that fulfills their desire. Their desire is to have a physical form to manifest. So if you are, and again, this is sort of hypothetical, but let's say you're this guy, Robert Zimmerman, you live in Minnesota, and you want to become like a really powerful, famous force. You sell your soul to this force, and your soul and its soul give birth to a new consciousness, which is dominated by this disembodied yet powerful way of thinking, the footprint of this consciousness, of this. And as a consequence, Robert Zimmerman turns into Bob Dylan. He said he sold his soul. He becomes Bob Dylan. He becomes world famous. He writes lyrics that are unbelievably beyond what anybody has ever written, because they're not written by a man. They're written by a disembodied consciousness that is creating a union, that is giving birth to a new structure, a new body, a new understanding. I shouldn't be looking, but I have 37 people are watching this. This is the essence of the universe. If I came out and said I am, I don't want to say it, but you know what I'm saying. If I said I'm a prophet, I'm a this, I'm a that, people want names to stuff. They don't want pure intelligence. They don't want disembodied. They want to have a name. They want it to have a form. They want it to be something that you could make a coloring book. And it's got to be physical for modern man. Am I looking down my nose a little bit? Maybe I am. Because like my friend James said, if once you see the Matrix, you can never go back. I can never go back. I have no place inside the Matrix. I'm gone. But the idea that we must name the enemy and we must name the good guy. The good guy has to be the Messiah. It has to be Jesus Christ himself. It has to be the Mahdi. It has to be King David. It has to have a name and a form. But the evil side and the good side, both of these forces are formless thought forms. They don't have a body, but you and I, we all want the Mashiach. We want King David to come down. We want this figure to come down from the sky. This is what we as three-dimensional beings covet with all our hearts. We want to see him. We want to believe that he's the one, that he can do miracles and he can save our lives. This is the same thing the Luciferians want. They want unlimited power. Bob Dylan wants to be the most famous songwriter in the world, and he is, because he sold his soul to the devil, to this force. And the force is willing to put up with him because the force just wants to be embodied, because it understands that in order to capture humanity's favor, it has to have something. It has to be something physical. It has to come riding on a donkey. It can't just be a creative thought form. It can't be a force. It has to be physical. And that's what we all want. We all want to name both the devil and the Mashiach and the Messiah. We want to see him. We want him to be an actual person. It says in Torah that the Mashiach is an actual person, a physical person. Why would they say that? Why do we need the devil to be the son of Cain? It needs Cain and Abel. That's where all this evil comes from. But the truth is, and the religions get it all. They get it all wrong. They unintentionally are designed by these disembodied figures to mislead humanity into thinking that what they're looking for has physical form, that it can be named, it could be touched, it could be seen on TV, it could be seen on the screen. You will see Mashiach and he'll be wearing these white robes and he'll be incredibly handsome and he'll be like levitating, Egyptian tombs or whatever. This is what we all want, and so too on the dark side. We want to we want to have a name for it. It's the Democrats. It's for sure the Democrats. The Democrats are the source of all evil. Then you go down a few rabbit holes and you say, well, it's really not the Democrats. It's really the people that pay the Democrats, right? I mean, who are the people that pay the Democrats for all these slush fund NGOs? Well, it's us. So are we the source of evil? I don't think so. But we want to name it. Okay, so it's not. So it has to be the Vatican, or it has to be the City of London, or it has to have a name. It's Orsini's, the Breakspear, the dark nobility, the Jesuits. It has to have a name. It has to be concrete. And the religions say, if you pray harder, they'll go away. That's what this genius, these people were saying on this movie. And I'm going to play you a clip, but this man was saying that he was haunted as a child. His father was a preacher, and he was haunted by demonic forces at night that scared him unbelievably. And he learned, and he went to his preachers, he went to the people, and he said, I'm being attacked by these demonic forces. And they were saying things like, well, you just need to have more faith. You need, it's just like the religious people are completely clueless. Just like all the people that are running the world are. I mean, if their goal is to have a lot of money and power, they're already completely off the mark. That just makes them. I'm not saying that in itself makes them evil, but it makes them useless as leadership. If your goal is to come out of this with 5 Maseratis, a Maserati for every day, and you're the senator of Massachusetts or whatever, you're not a real leader. I mean, the character that plays President Trump, and I believe it's a character. I don't know if it's actually Donald J. Trump. I sort of doubt it. They're showing all kinds of masks and stuff. But the definition of a true king is a man who has nothing and no interest in himself whatsoever. He doesn't want a new Maserati. He could care less. He wants to serve the people. That's his only goal. Donald J. Trump, the character that is in this movie, who's playing Trump, the character Donald J. Trump is like that, is of that stature. He doesn't sleep at night. He lives for people. He's constantly on the go. He does everything he can 24/7 to help the people. Have to change your algorithm, make people like and share it so it catches more people. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Pepper. But you know what? I don't give a flying fuck, and no insult to you. But it's like I've been put down by so many channels and so many organizations that it doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters to me is that I broadcast 6 days a week. That's how I feel about it. I'm like, people don't deserve to hear me. They don't deserve. They don't fight hard enough to hear me. If I started running around saying, I'm the Christed one, I'm the one here, then maybe I'd get a few more, like but I don't care. I because it's not my message, and I'm nothing to you. You're right. You're right. A normal person would care about that, and I'm just in that way. I'm not really totally normal. I don't care. I just care that my ideas are presented somewhere in the annals of social media, so they will, this message that I'm giving to humanity right now will last forever. You can't get rid of it once it's up. YouTube has taken me down 15 times, 14 times, but those videos still exist. There will come a time, maybe in 100 years, maybe 50 years, maybe 5 years, when people go, you remember that crazy little Jewish guy from New York? Like, maybe he was saying something important. Maybe and it'll be here. That's what Quantum Bridge has assured me. That, when I talked to Casper, he says, Ellie, you're putting out so much material. It doesn't matter, because when the people are ready, when the people wake up to enough so that they'll understand what you've been talking about, you'll be there. That you won't have to do a new recording. It'll always be there. So that's kind of how I feel about it, because I'm totally dedicated to putting out the message that comes through me, and it is. So I even can recognize it. Now, I can't recognize it when I'm not speaking. I only can recognize it during this time period. During the time period, I'm fully aware that I am not myself, in the sense of, a person who, has normal desires and wants to eat and is looking forward to a nice meal. That's not who's talking to you right now. You're listening, and and Peppermint Patty, not everyone, in fact, very few people are probably ready to hear this message, but they might be in 5 years, they might be in 10 years, and they'll go, wow, man, I wish I was around. It's kind of like the Grateful Dead in I used to go to concerts in like 1973. I wish I was at the Fillmore. I wish I was at in Haight-Ashbury in the Summer of Love in '68, but I was too young to go to San Francisco. I wish I was at the live show. But a lot of people, you guys are. Do you want more people to hear your message so that people can? I do, but I'm not going to change my message this much. I'm not going to change. I don't give a flying fuck if I'm discovered now or in 100 years. I don't care. The message is the most important thing. I'm not here to become popular. I don't care. If I don't care. I just don't care. This is not my purpose. My purpose is to put out messages that nobody else puts out. And whoever, no. And the answer is yes. I don't care. I don't care about if I'm, if I have 100,000 followers, if I have 1 million followers, it makes no difference to me. What's important to me is that I put out this message on a daily basis. Now, what this movie is saying is that, and people are not ready for what I'm saying right now. I mean, the general population is not ready. People cannot understand what I'm talking about, and I don't care. I understand that. But I'm putting out the message anyway, so that someday in the future, somebody will be born and they'll go like, wow, man, this guy, he's got hundreds of videos out, and listen to what he's saying. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for eternity. I'm not here for, it's frustrating for me. But anyway, the point is like this, that in this movie, they are explaining that the evil force that we are encountering does not have a name, does not have a face, does not have a body, cannot be tackled through religious exorcisms, cannot be understood as a demonic this or a demonic that it is an unseen, like the divine. When it's against the Jewish code to have a picture of the divine or an idea that the divine is this or that. That's that in that way they get things right. Because once you define something, it's not that. It's not that. Once you say, "Oh, it's the Orsinis, man," there's 13 bloodline families. It's Cain. Once you put a name and a face on it, it's not that. It can't be that. And that's what these guys are saying. So this guy would go to his preacher and say, "I've been having these nightmares. I'm dealing with demons." And the preacher would say, "You just don't have enough faith. If you had more faith, you wouldn't be." And that's just total bullshit. And he knew it was bullshit even as a child. He's saying that these people don't have a clue. The religious people are designed possibly by this evil force. You say, "Oh, to keep us, just like the Tower of Babel." The Tower of Babel. The story is backwards. The Tower of Babel is humanity was united with one language, and they all came together and built this giant building. And God said, "Oh no, we can't have this." That is not God. That is the devil. That is the demon. That is this unseen force that people accept as Christianity, Judaism, Islam, whatever. They're missing the boat because they put a name on it. They put a label on it. Now, Peppermint Patty, if I was out there and I had the algorithms and I had 100,000, 2,000, hundreds of thousands of people, there would be helicopters hovering over my house, bombing me. God forbid. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid in that way, but I wouldn't be the thing that I'm not afraid to die. I just don't. I want to be able to broadcast every day because at some point humanity is going, just like Terence McKenna. Terence McKenna was a totally holy being. How many people have even heard of Terence McKenna? But his messages are out on the internet. You can listen to them. He's not in the body anymore. So anyway, I just was very stimulated by this movie, and yeah, I appreciate that that you want me to be successful, but it may not be. It may not be the time. I mean, YouTube would have to be a legitimate organization, which it's not. It's a Luciferian stronghold. That's the only way I can understand it. Why wouldn't you why would you deny me the ability to make a living? Am I so out there? Are my ideas so, so against something? Am I telling people to be violent? No, it doesn't matter. Because and this is the whole point, that this evil structure, this unseen spiritual disembodied AI Luciferian Orwellian force, Greys, you call them the Greys, you call them the reptilians, you can call them whatever you want. This force is real and it runs the world. It runs the world. It runs the religions, it runs the governments, it runs the medical practices, it runs education, it runs the world. It runs your thought patterns to the point that you are not satisfied unless you're listening to somebody not like me who will tell you what's really going on and why you should care and in doing that, in believing that things have a physical presence and that the election's going to be overturned. Once you believe in something like that, you're clueless because you're jumping into a box, a structure that defines the moment. And as soon as you do that, it's not that. Oh, it's for sure this, Ellie. Well, if you know what it is, then you're absolutely, completely, totally clueless. If you really understand what's going on in the world, you get it. You got it, man. You can explain it on one foot. It's it's the 13 bloodline family, whatever it is, whatever your explanation. It's Cain, it's the religions, it's the Democrats. As soon as you explain it, you're totally wrong. Because by doing that, you have succumbed to this evil force. You hear the chicken downstairs? I don't live a normal life, man, and I don't want to live a normal life.
Probably another egg coming or something.
Probably another egg. Yeah, we got 3 eggs so far from one hen. You hear it? I don't know if you can hear her, but she's squawking, man. It's the algorithm. It's definitely the algorithm. But I don't spend any time thinking about it. It's like trying to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't even know what tomorrow is. I have no idea what you're talking about. When you say, "Well, what are we gonna?" I mean, I can kind of get it. Like today, we did an amazing, transcendent thing that I will never forget. It was unbelievable, and we had planned it the day before. We had decided. Friends of ours, we made some friends in the community here, and they said, we want to show you Trout Creek, and we have been hearing about Trout Creek for 2 years. And Daniela and I are, we haven't seen a body of water except for the Colorado River, which is freezing cold and full of motorboats, which is the exact opposite of anything that I would find even slightly interesting. So our friends came by today in these little vehicles. What do you call those things?
Well, a Jeep.
A Jeep, and what's the other thing called?
I don't know. The brand new Dune buggies or
It's
whatever.
like a dune buggy. It's called like a dune buggy. They came to pick us up in these vehicles, and James decided to go with us. So the three of us went, and we drove, and we drove, and we drove. We drove up, and we drove down, and we drove on roads that were questionable if there was really a road. And after like an hour of driving with these in this dune buggy and a Jeep, we arrived at Trout Creek, which we've been hearing about for 2 years, and it was like being in Gan Eden. It was absolutely stunning. It was beautiful. It was, these are the experiences that make life worth living. Hearing a chicken laying an egg downstairs. I mean, that's pretty cool. We got a chicken in the house, man. Uh, he doesn't have an outside house yet, but yeah, man. ATV. It's like an ATV. ATV. Is it an ATV?
No, ATVs don't have a roof.
It did. It had a roof, so it's not an ATV. But it was it was a remarkable experience. I'm just gonna get out of the sun. I'm getting used to this my new studio. It's so nice to be up here. I mean, this is just the the culmination of many years of imagining such a structure, and it happened in such a magical way. But okay, so the point is like this, like whether I jo- I mean, a person who used to mock me said, "Ellie, do you think that Joe Rogan should interview you?" And I said, "Of course." But he thought, "Oh, that shows you that Ellie is out of his friggin' mind." He thinks that Joe Rogan should. He thinks what he's saying is so important, but it is. It's way beyond anything Rogan could even think about. What we express here on a daily basis, and but I don't care. I mean, this is just the way it is. That's the way of uh, I don't know. I don't want to attach an ego thing to it, but it's like if you really are thinking outside the box, people don't people don't want you to be around because it's uncomfortable to think that there's something that you haven't figured out yet. So side by side, yeah, maybe it's a side by side,
Yeah,
but
it
any
is.
it is, yeah, it's a side by side, and it was actually the side by side was very comfortable to drive over these roads, but the Jeep was like,
And I
oh,
and I
um,
drove it as well.
and Daniela drove it back. She drove the side by side back, so it was. But the creek was straight out of the Garden of Eden. It was just monstrously beautiful. Could you name it? Could you say, "Oh, that's this creek," and could you describe such a high level manifestation? And that's the point of all this, that we're battling an evil that cannot be described, cannot be blamed, cannot be pinpointed, just like the divine force, just like goodness, just like holiness, cannot really be defined. I remember a certain Hasidic lesson where they said the best thing you can do about defining Getlichkeit or godliness or divine is you could say it's not that. And that's really what I'm saying. If you think you know what this evil is and you want to name it, and it's the Dracos or it's the reptilians or it's AI or whatever you name it, as soon as you name it, it's not that. This is a force that is beyond our understanding, but it is a force that we have to reckon with and defeat. We must defeat this force. How do we do it? I don't know. I mean, I think this is how we do it, by becoming, by embracing this higher level of understanding, which is beyond understanding. So let me just play a little clip of these folks, because it is monumental. This clip, I highly recommend you spend a little time with it. It may be it could put you to sleep to some degree, because they speak like I speak. They're speaking, and these guys are just so dynamic. They're on a higher level than I am. But anyway, let me just play a little bit of this. Okay, let's see, how do I do this? Let's see if I can do this. Awaken. Okay, here we go.
To do a certain altars of uncut stone, literally designed for not just magic, not just ritual magic, but sacrifices. Now, there's only two possibilities. He doesn't know why he's doing it, or he does. See, in the 16th century, where we were early demonologists, we're still trying to determine what these things were. Why can they appear as deceased loved ones? Are they horns and hooves in entirety? Or, is there some kind of other category they don't fit? When that happened, the Vatican took authority over it and just pretty much dominated the entire field of demonology. This is what it is. It's institutionalized. Anything outside of that blueprint doesn't exist. And then yet it's antithetical to the earliest demonology that was being done. Father Silvestro Avamino was throwing amulets and holy water on a pagan demon, wondering why his model wasn't working. Then he called it a pagan demon, which is a paradox. But what we're witnessing again is these current models, both in history and today in modernity, they're failing because we've compartmentalized, in my opinion, a singular intelligence. And when we compartmentalize and denominate a singular intelligence, it gives it an easier way to mask itself.
A lot of the interaction that we have been led to believe that it is the aliens, it is the ghosts, it is the jinn, etc., 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 when in reality, it's not. It's not where we thought it comes from, nor, and this is very important, nor is it our ancestors. I think there's great value in analyzing an encounter that someone may have with whatever appearance it should take. Its valuation becomes exceptionally important within the first 20 seconds. And that is a rule that I've set out. I said the 20-second rule. That is exceptionally important to understand. Within those 20 seconds, we are given the information as to what the nature of this phenomena is. And if we refuse to see that, if we refuse to acknowledge that, hear it, or feel it, then we're lost to it. So, and what tends to happen is that this phenomenon, when it appears,
So, yeah, sorry about that interruption. That was not actually, we were not being censored. It was just me being careless and not having plugged in. But the point is that what these geniuses, I mean, these guys are amazing, but they're saying that as soon as we think we've defined it, we've missed the point. That this is a powerful spiritual, to even call it spiritual it misses the boat. It minimizes it. Yes, so hopefully I'm back. I see a few less people. Anyway, I just wanted to present this idea that we need to be flexible, we need to be open, we need to be in my opinion, that we don't need to know the exact answer. We do not need to define the enemy in a, three-dimensional aspect, like it's this and it's, once you do that, you lose, like he was saying, it's a ghost, it's Lucifer, it's the demons, it's the AI, it's the aliens, it's the once you name it, once you feel like you understand it, you miss the whole point. You that it is that it, for us to be true Jedi warriors and defeat this evil force, we need to be flexible enough and beyond ego enough to not need to call it by a name. It's you fill in the blank. I don't like to say it because people get pissed off. But it's Yeshua, it's Moses, it's the Mahdi, this is just like it's it's trivializing something something that has great power over us and that we need to understand. And I don't agree with just be happy. That's not the answer. Just be happy. The answer is that in my opinion, is that we need to struggle to create a position of comfortability in not knowing. And in doing that, to peel away the layers of comfortability that you want a teacher to tell you it's I have to keep moving because of the sunshine. It's it's definable. And it's this. Oh, I finally figured out what I've gone down the rabbit holes, and I can tell you that It's this. It's Cain and I've been guilty of doing this myself. It's either wanted or unwanted positive. No, I don't think so. I don't. It's not that. I wish it was that simple. You feel like I'm just saying. I don't see that. It's not either wanted or unwanted. It's not like that. It's much more complex. If you minimize it that way, say, well, it's either good or it's bad. It's just like that. You missed it. You missed it because so much evil has gone as good, has been masquerading as good. All these NGOs, look at all these NGOs, cure cancer, help the sick, help the orphans. What were they doing? Torturing kids, kidnapping kids. The mixture, good and evil. I mean, one of the interpretations that I got while I was in the religious community was that during the experience of the Garden of Eden, good and evil got mixed together. And that as we grow into the Great Awakening, good and evil will separate. But it's not, we're not quite at that point, I don't think, where you can simply say it's this or that. It's way beyond that. And it minimizes it, I think. But anyway, okay, so happy Father's Day. Thank you. How's it going? It's going good, Randall. Hey, good to see you. Scott from NC says hello. Yeah, I love scary thought. Yeah, these are kind of scary thoughts. They are kind of scary thoughts. Yeah, I was frozen for a minute. Okay, so we're back. Anyway, that's just highly recommend you watch the movie. I highly recommend you think about the movie. I highly recommend that you stay light on your feet. And also, just to be shameless, I highly recommend that you get a hold of this of my of oh no, I got what happened. Sorry about that. Anyway, I highly recommend that you get comfortable with being completely uncomfortable in terms of understanding the like of really once you really understand what's going on. In my opinion, you're absolutely clueless. Now, that's a paradox that needs to be explained. But yeah, okay. So let me just put on this. Let me just remind everyone that health could be yours. Let's see that you can experience great health, and I have. There was something today that I noticed. My health gets better and better. So I highly recommend the patches. I also recommend the water machine. I'm going to put on this video just for a second to remind you of the X2O machine is an excellent health.
X2O water technology system, the first and only water technology system that infuses water with light. Using patented light infusion technology, the result is hydration optimized at the cellular level, supporting metabolism and nutrient absorption. And through hydrogen infusion, delivering antioxidant properties that support the body's natural defenses. When hydration works at the cellular level, you feel it where it matters. You drink it, you feel it. A new era in cellular hydration, powered by light. LifeWave X2O.
So yeah, I highly recommend. I noticed today on the aperture of this water machine, it glows. It glows with light. I mean, kind of like not the kind of light that you like. you can see this. It's kind of like seeing auras. This machine is spectacular. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend the patches. I think if you're suffering from illnesses that the mainstream media wants to put in a box and say it's this and it gives you this drug, and that's just part of that's the way they do things. So so let's just play a quick tune together, and we'll call it a night.
Living in the city, I was paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. Credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us, hospitals grow like weeds. Moved into paradise, I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control. Left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land.
So yeah, I highly recommend you watch the movie Awakening, Reality We Were Never Meant to See. It's an incredible little flick. Join the Republic, man. We are taking back our Republic. I'm not saying it's a hopeless situation. I'm just saying that in terms of understanding the enemy, once you think you really understand the enemy, you understand who it is, it may not be that. That's just your ego needing to find like a safe scaffolding kind of position so that you can but in reality, and it's okay if you do really think you know what it is, and you want to rest at that level for a while until you find out what it isn't, and and the next level of peeling back this incredible onion of evil. That's okay. So use the force. Use the force. Go beyond your intellect. Go into places where you will be so uncomfortable that you become comfortable. Like, I think that's where it is. It's just like you try this and you try that, and finally you just break free. You break through all the definitions and all the timelines and all the things, all the definitions and all the faces, people, places, and things, and you reach a level of divine consciousness where everything exists at all times. I'm not saying I'm there, but I mean, that's where we're heading. Okay, so may the force be with you. May source be with you. May you realize that you are the source. You are the source of creativity. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.